Denver is hosting a 31-mile marathon where racers have to constantly eat Taco Bell. The Catholic Church drops the mass wine after it becomes very popular in bars. And one community has very mixed emotions over the ice Halloween decorations. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the galaxy. This is Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News. Happy to be here. I got 3 strange stories for you to begin your week. Let's do it. Denver is hosting a 31-mile marathon run where the racers must constantly consume Taco Bell. This sounds like punishment rather than a reward. Is this punishment for something? Did people lose a bet? I mean, eating while you're running, is that even physically possible? Obviously, you can eat and run. I know that, but this is 31 miles of eating and running. This is the only marathon where you weigh more at the end than you did at the beginning. Let's learn something about this bizarre athletic event that is taking place in Denver involving running and eating Taco Bell. It says, if Taco Bell gives you the runs, athletically that is, this needs to be on your bucket list. This is the Ultra Runner event. It's taking place in Denver. It's called the International Taco Bell 50K Ultra Marathon. In case you don't know, a 50K is 31 miles. The race is a loop through Denver, and it includes mandatory stops at a total of 10 Taco Bells in the area. Well, you must not run by. You have to stop at the Taco Bell. All 10, it would seem. What I want to know is how many bathrooms are along the route, because you know what Taco Bell does to you. I mean, you get a lot of porta potties along the route. Or are the runners in diapers? Maybe that's a thing. I mean, this could be a very fun event just to attend if you ever wanted to see hundreds of people pooping while they're running at full speed. This is for you. 31 miles of the runs. Yes, Taco Bell, live más. Live más. All right, there's a whole lot more information about this, what I'll call Denver Dumpathon, or should we call it the Diarrhea Decathlon? No, that'll be next year's, will be the Decathlon. Here's how the race works. You have to order something at 9 of the 10 Taco Bells. Okay, so 9 out of the 10, you have to order something, and you've got to actually eat the food. This includes 1 Chalupa Supreme or 1 Crunchy Wrap Supreme by the 4th stop, and 1 Burrito Supreme or 1 Nachos Bel Grande by the 8th stop. You need to finish the 31 miles within 11 hours. You need to keep all your receipts and wrappers, and drinks do not count as food. Naturally, this is a very challenging race for your digestive system, but you've got to keep that food down. They have a zero-tolerance policy on any vomiting. In fact, if you are caught vomiting, you are immediately disqualified. How are they going to catch you if you're just in some porta potty? You know, where they got someone standing out of the door listening. All right, that sounds like diarrhea. Okay, you're good. You're good. Notice they said you're not banned if you have diarrhea. That's because that's expected at the Diarrhea-thon, a.k.a. the Denver Spicy Mud Run. Oh, and check this out. One of the rules, this is strange, you're banned from on-course stomach medicines. So while you're running, you cannot take Pepto, Pepcid AC, Alka-Seltzer, and or Mylanta. Doesn't say anything about Tums. Can you pop some Tums? You are able to use the restroom as much as you'd like, but you can only use Taco Bell restrooms along with the other approved public toilets that are along the route, okay? There's going to be a line at that bathroom. I'm just going to tell you right now. All those Taco Bell bathrooms line out the door. All right, Jonesy, enough with the poop jokes. Okay, all right, I know. My mind was in the gutter with this. You know, I reverted back to my teenage years with that poop jokes. But, I mean, it's a story about Taco Bell. I mean, how do you not do poop jokes? The Taco Bell 50K is in its 8th year? Wow, who knew? Have you heard of this before? It's in its 8th year. Any of you ever participated in the Taco Bell 50K? I'd love to know if you made it through. It says the next one's happening this weekend. They're expecting about 600 participants. They even have a website for it. My goodness, this is incredible. It's TacoBell50K.com. Now, the website's got some other information, including rules that weren't mentioned in the article. It says an off-course bathroom break will be allowed at Washington Park. Survivors, they're calling them survivors, will eventually get a commemorative item after successful completion of the run. If you intend to participate, RSVP your statement of intent. No on-course Pepto, Alka-Seltzer, Pepcid AC, Mylanta will be allowed. In other words, a no Taco Bell 50K doping, as they call it. Were you doping? I took Alka-Seltzer in the last race. I'm not proud of it. Scandal rocks the 50K Taco Bell race when they found one runner took copious amounts of Pepcid AC in the Washington Park bathroom. All right, well, this sounds like a lot of fun. Great way to spend your Saturday. If you don't take it seriously, I would take my sweet-ass time. 11 hours? I'll walk the damn thing. Just enjoy I assume it's free food, right? They said if you finish the race, you present your receipts. I assume they reimburse you for what you spent at the 9 to 10 Taco Bell locations. I'm also wondering, what are the best items, easiest items to eat while you're running? Definitely not a hard taco. That's just going to fall apart while you're jogging. But a soft tacos from Taco Bell, you can kind of roll them up in like a tube-like format. Easy. The burrito, for sure. You can hold the burrito while you run. Chalupa as well. There are some required items that you must eat, and I think they do that because those items are quite large, like the Nachos Bel Grande. That's like a big thing of nachos. They want to see people running and eating awkwardly, obviously. Because a plate of nachos while you're running, that's difficult. You could be dropping cheese. People are going to fall. Is it first aid everywhere during this race? Because I can imagine so many scenarios where people are slipping on cheese or refried beans, slipping on salsa and falling on their ass. Choking could be a thing. This is a choking hazard incident, it would seem. I hope they're providing like a medic at every mile marker. That seems like something you need to do. Could be some lawsuits. Good publicity for Taco Bell, though, but who's going to clean up? You're going to need to power wash those streets afterward. This isn't the only food-centric run. I came across this Krispy Kreme challenge. Have you heard of this? This sounds amazing. You eat 12 donuts over 5 miles. It's 1 hour. 2,400 calories, 12 donuts, 5 miles, 1 hour. This is the mantra of the Krispy Kreme challenge. And it epitomizes the test of physical fitness and gastrointestinal fortitude. What started as a challenge among 10 friends is transformed into a nationally publicized charity race and the #1 tradition to complete before graduating from North Carolina State University. So they host this annual Krispy Kreme challenge, raising over $100,000 for some children's hospital. Good cause. Here's how it works. Participants begin the challenge at the Memorial Bell Tower on the campus of the school. Runners travel 2.5 miles through historic downtown Raleigh to the Krispy Kreme, where they attempt to consume 1 dozen original glazed donuts, and then the hardest part awaits them as they must now run 2.5 miles back to the Memorial Bell Tower. This sounds amazing. It's not happening till February. It's February 7th if you want to participate in this. So, food, racing. It sounds fun. It's definitely weird. An altar wine had to be replaced after it became popular in some bars. The story's out of Kenya. The Kenyan Catholic Church has introduced a new brand of altar wine for Holy Mass after the previous one became too popular and available in local bars. Wow, that altar wine was pretty, as the kids say, fire, it sounds like, which is weird because the Catholic communion wine, which I have tasted growing up Catholic, it's not very good at all. But, what do you expect? It is blood. After all, it's the BOC. You guys know the BOC, the blood of Christ, baby. Tastes terrible, but man, does it have some good electrolytes. Now, the new wine that they're using is simply labeled Mass Wine. It's a new sacramental drink that bears the coat of arms of the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, the KCCB, and an official signature to certify its authenticity. Ooh, it's authentic wine. The newly approved wine is not for sale at any business outlet, but is imported and owned by the KCCB and only distributed to the diocese. The move has been welcomed by the Catholic faithful, who believe that the previous brand had lost its sanctity due to its widespread popularity and use outside the church. Oh, it went too commercial. How good was that wine that it got so popular outside of the church? It's so bizarre. Who was at the church and oh man, this wine's amazing. Where'd you get that? Can I order a case? Did you get it at Total Wine? Do they have an altar wine section over there at Total Wine? That store's amazing. That's one of my favorite stores. If you haven't been to Total Wine, oh my goodness, I could spend a day there. All right, back to the Mass Wine, which apparently was so damn good. so surprising that the wine was so good that they started serving it at bars. Usually they buy the cheapest wine they can. Like they'll buy like a box wine from Aldi because it's not about the taste of the wine. It's just like it's used for basically symbolic purposes. It's supposed to be the BOC, the blood of Christ, not to be confused with the BOC, the body of Christ. That's something completely different. Yeah, so my point is they just use it for like symbolic purposes because it's been transformed by somebody into the blood of a dead Jew from 2,000 years ago. But it's my point is it's usually pretty cheap wine because it's not the point of the taste of it. But apparently this particular mass wine they were using at the church in Kenya was just off the chain here with the flavorful and delicious when paired with some delicious Christ crisps. Have you tried the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost pepper jack cheese on that? Ooh, delicious. Add that to your charcuterie board, baby. The article has some more information. It says the composition of the wine is regulated by the Catholic Church's canon law. Vigilance on the quality and standards of the wine and hosts used in the Mass is given to the Catholic bishops of the country. This is reviewed from time to time, so they have a little wine party. Yeah, the Archbishop and all his boys be kicking back, having a wine party. No, we're just testing the standards of this Mass wine. We gotta make sure that the wine is up to par, Just making sure it's quality. We can't have our followers drinking some terrible wine. The old wine, it says, was distributed by a local alcohol manufacturer, was widely sold in liquor shops, hotels, bars, and supermarkets as well. Oh, that's because you got it from the local. You got to make your own. Become a winery. Like, why not? The monks have been doing that for a long, long time, right? Have you had that monk beer? The Trappist monks have been making beers in Europe. They make them in the Abbey, right there. So have you had Chimay? That's a brand I'm very familiar with. Delicious. Chimay. The monks know what they're doing. It's strong stuff, though. Those monks make some potent beer, I have to tell you right now. That's not for no rookie, all right? There's baby steps. Baby steps. Build up to the Chimay. Have yourself some PBRs before you get into the Chimay. Now, the Archbishop said he was sad. He said, sadly, the other wine had become common, and unfortunately, it was readily available in secular outlets and bars. And now, after exploring several wine options, the Catholic Church in Kenya settled on a South African vintage. The new wine was officially introduced for the first time to thousands of worshippers during this year's National Prayer Day at the Subukia National Marian Shrine in Kenya's Nakuru area on Saturday. I nailed all those Kenyan words. Did you hear that? That was amazing. Let me pat myself on the back. Good job! No, the Archbishop says the new wine is the only wine that's going to be used in mass celebrations across the country going forward. But you could still order the other wine. You could still order the other wine at the bars. It's so popular. Another round of the blood of our Savior, bar maiden, please. And a bowl of Christ crackers, if you could. The neighborhood has mixed emotions over some ice Halloween decorations at a sheriff's home. The article begins with a quote from some lady named Grace McCaffrey, who owns Latino Media. She says, "This is extremely disappointing and sad." She said this display, which shows skeletons dressed as ICE agents chasing others wearing sombreros, sends a very harmful message to the world. She says, "It's questionable whether these are messages that indicate or perpetuate fear, which of course leads to racism. Whether it's done by another immigrant or a Hispanic person, it's still extremely harmful." So it sounds like she's up in arms about these decorations on somebody's lawn for Halloween. You got some skeletons dressed as ICE chasing skeletons in sombreros. So it's pretty lowbrow humor if you're going for humor. Not particularly scary, so it doesn't really fit the Halloween motif. It fits the political climate motif more than I think the Halloween motif, although there are skeletons as part of the scenery, so one could make the argument that, in fact, yeah, you know what, this is extremely Halloween. But, I think we know what really is going on here, and that's just, you have a homeowner who feels a certain way about that political situation, and they're expressing themselves. And my whole point is, and I covered this on a previous episode about some Halloween decorations, it's your right. I mean, I think this is a First Amendment. You can't take this down. This is First Amendment freedom of speech to express yourself this way, and you can do it using Halloween decorations. In the previous story, the government cracked down on this guy for putting effigies of like local lawmakers. But I stand pat on this. I mean, this is freedom of speech. And although I don't agree with this ICE thing, I didn't agree with the other one really either. I mean, you can do this, man. It's your property. Come on. At the same token, if you do decide to behave this way in your community, you have to also accept all that comes down with that, and that could be anywhere from just your neighbors yelling at you to, in the dead of night, small pockets of people coming in sabotaging your decorations or doing worse to your property, or even your own person. I mean, that could happen. You should be arrested for such things, and this guy, being that he's the sheriff, is obviously not going to be arrested for it. But it's also concerning that he is a sheriff as well. I mean, that sort of tells you how the local PD feel about immigrants and minorities in general. Now, it says here the wife of the sheriff that put up the Halloween decorations issued a statement saying that she intends on changing the displays very soon, adding that, quote, "We have no shortage of topics to cover." Oh, no, what's she going to do next? What is this? These people sound like a bit of a menace. Here's some more quotes from Birch. She says, "Every year I make tongue-in-cheek Halloween decorations with a topical theme at my home. I like decorating for Halloween and other holidays and rotate these decorations periodically. My husband has nothing to do with these, by the way, other than mowing the grass around them. I made this latest one," she means the Halloween ice decorations, "playing both on my Cuban background and new needed changes in federal immigration enforcement. My parents were legal immigrants, and I have plenty of immigrants throughout my family. I'll make a new one shortly." All right, this lady sounds like she's a little bent, but hey, it's her property. Look at, there's a fence around the property. This is definitely their property. You can do what you want within the confines of your own fence when it comes to decorations, as far as I'm concerned. Go to town. I got to say, though, this... the ice ones don't look so good. They don't look so good. The ice, first of all, the ice are very skinny, and I've seen them. They're a bunch of tubba-lubbas in general. They are going about as slow as they usually run, which is a dead standstill, so that's pretty accurate. I mean, you're going to see more of this. We're in a politically divided country. People are going to go out this Halloween dressed as ice. You better believe it. With maybe even their friend pretending to be like a Mexican in a sombrero running away. That'll be their fun little scene that they carry out at the party. That's going to happen. So brace yourself for this sort of stuff, and you may be offended by it. But I know I sound like a broken record, but I think all this is covered under First Amendment. Maybe you disagree. You can hit me up. My email is funnyjones@gmail.com. And I'll be looking forward to seeing some of my listeners in their costumes this year. I got some photos last year. People sent me of their costumes. I'm going to request that again this year. Maybe I can get some more. I think I have figured out what I'm going to dress up as this Halloween. I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to surprise you with video and photos as we get closer to the date. Hi, my friends, my delicious listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you for spending some time with your buddy Jonesy as I put together Frankenstein together this episode today. Just trying to do the best I can with a hangover. Let's give thanks and praise, because some people bought me coffees over the weekend, and I wasn't able to mention them on the Friday episode. So we have Superstar Universe bought me coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. Very generous amount of coffees, I might add. Thank you so much, Superstar Universe. Got a nice note from her as well. It says, "Dear Jonesy, I have to say, frogs only taste like chicken. If that chicken recently lost a fight to a pile of swamp muck, drowned in it for 6 months, hard pass on the raw amphibian appetizer for back pain. Jonesy, but keep that Weird AF News coming. It's the only news source that hasn't made me want to pour concrete into my ears, Florida style." I love it. "Pour concrete into my ears, Florida style." That's a hilarious sentence. "Seriously, Jonesy, you reading the headlines is the only thing that proves to me that my soul hasn't completely dissolved into the corporate abyss. Stay weird. Serafina, superstaruniverse.com. So check out superstaruniverse.com. Serafina. She's a bit of an artist. Very cool and very supportive of Weird AF News. I'm so grateful for Serafina. Also, we have Nikki. Nikki sent me some coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com as well, and wrote, "Hey, Jonesy, a huge thanks for starting off all my days with a giggle. Because of your podcast, getting up and ready for work is that much more tolerable. So here's some coffees on me. Thanks for bringing the weird. Cheers." Isn't that lovely? It says, "Your new friend, Nikki." Lovely. I'm so blessed. I got amazing friends doing this podcast. Supportive people that believe in what I'm doing and get a lot out of it. That's what makes me really happy. You get something out of it. You get a lot out of it. Oh, I was sad, and then now I listen to the podcast, and now I laugh a bit more than I used to. Great. That's what it's for. So appreciate you guys. If you ever want to support it, please go to weirdafnews.com. If you have money and you want to support it with some money, you don't have to. You can support it in other ways, like sharing it on social media or writing a review or just telling a friend if you'd like. That would be very, very helpful, and I'd appreciate any of that. Anyways, at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything. I just appreciate your listenership and your encouragement, and so thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.